Yeah. So there's nothing special with the inner. The Aviom is a bit special, but the wireless is exactly the same as the wedges, just that it goes to a wireless transmitter instead of to an amplifier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, it is the same thing. The Aviom, of course, it goes to a mixer, so it's a bit different, but it's just how do you want to create 16 channels that the band can use to mix.
Yeah, but that's the only channel available, right? 16.
On this Aviom, yes. There is a newer version which has 32,
Yeah,
but
that's two.
we don't have it.
No.
This one we got for free, so
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's how it is.
Okay.
Any questions?
Natapos na yun ang ano doon. Sa Dante.
Not yet.
In-ear pa muna tayo.
I think we
okay.
have figured out so far.
Yeah.
But as I said at the beginning, I don't do this every Sunday.
Mm.
When I load my show, it just works. So I recommend to have a show that you feel comfortable with.
Yes.
that-
Yeah. always.
and you connect. That requires that you connect everything to the same place every time.
Every time.
And
Yeah.
if you do that, it should just work.
Yes.
So if you see here, for example, on the inner mix, I have it set up so that on mix 1, vocal 1 is louder and everything else is a bit lower.
Over. Yes.
And inner 2, vocal 2 is louder, number 3 is louder, number 4
Yes.
is louder. So all of these things are just pre-configured,
Yeah.
which makes everything much quicker.
Yes.
So what I usually need to do is I need to connect everything, and I need to check that I get a signal from everything,
Yeah.
and then I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Then they can start rehearsing.
Yeah.
We can change the sound while they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So these are the inners.
Mm-hmm.
Should we? Okay, so this is perhaps a bit more challenging, but should we look at the Dante
Yeah.
Yeah.
setups?
Yes.
So do you know what the Dante is?
Don't know that
No?
is.
So,
Just use this.
You just use Dante.
so if you work with IT, then Dante is a network protocol. So it is a way to send audio over a computer network. It is become an industry standard, and the benefit is that you can use the same computer equipment and network equipment as for normal network traffic. So it means that from this console to the room at the back, there is just 2 network cables. One that we use and one that is backup in case the first one breaks. Instead of, as before, there were 1 cable for every input coming to the mixer
Yeah.
and 1 other cable for every output going down.
Yeah.
So that's a huge benefit. And then you can also do routing, which is very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, this is not, I have a paper in my, you have, this is a bit challenging, but let's see.
Okay.
You have a microphone, that's the square, it's called a microphone. This you need to connect somewhere, and you connect this to a stage box. This stage box has analog inputs.
Yeah.
So this will have, this one has 32
Oh, 32? Yeah.
32 XLR inputs, which is the normal microphone cable. This one has a analog digital converter. It converts the sound to digital, and it has a network connection. And here we have our mixer, which also has a network connection. And this has at the back you can see 3 network connections. One is for control. This is just normal network when you want to use your iPad. The other 2 are for Dante. And one is the primary, which is the one we use. The secondary is the one that will be used if it breaks. The good thing is that the sound goes through both at all times. So if you disconnect the primary, you won't hear any difference.
Okay.
If you disconnect the secondary, of course it stops. The mixer has a Dante card inside, which supports 64 inputs, 64 outputs. 64 x 64. So if you noticed, the mixer actually supports 72 plus 8,
Yeah.
which means that it has more channels than it has Dante channels. To compensate for that, we have bought an expansion card, which is in slot 2. which we can say it is, let's say down here, which has also a network connection. This one has 16 times 16. So when you want to, and yeah, I forgot to say that this box, it has 32 inputs, but it also has, no, wait. No, this is okay. Okay, so this has 64 inputs. And in the other end, of course, we have our other stage box, which is also connected to the network, which is also 32 times 16. I should say this is 32 times 16. It has 16 outputs. So when you want to route something, okay, you have your microphone. The first thing you need to decide is, okay, where do I want to connect it on the stage? This corresponds to which of these are you connecting it to. I want to 32.
Yes.
After that, you have it available on your Dante network. And you can see it in this controller. The controller is divided up into Dante receivers. These are units that can receive a Dante signal, and Dante transmitters, which are units that can send a Dante signal. So this one I connected, this is, let's say it's my kick drum. I connected it to channel or to input 1. This is called, this is the Rio I talked about, which is this one. And you can see that this can transmit 32 channels. My microphone is now connected to number 1. And the next thing is, okay, where do I want to send this kick drum?
Okay.
I can send it to all of these, any of these, or all of them. I want to send it to my mixer, my console. So then I can expand my console, which is called Yamaha CL5.
Yeah.
And you can see my CL5 has 1, 2, 64 inputs. I want it to be on number 1, which I have here. So you can see this green mark means that Rio number 1 is CL5 number 1. If I put it somewhere else, the sound will come somewhere else.
Yes.
To add a small complication on the mixer, this is channel 1. You can see channel 1. Here you have a patch, and here you can see it is patched to Dante 1. Dante 1 is this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can also say that channel 1 on the mixer should be Dante 2. Then you need to send it to this one. To avoid confusion, I would recommend to never do that.
Yeah.
At least you can do it if there is some exception. There are some scenarios where it makes sense. But as a general rule, keep it 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Dante 1, channel 1. Dante 2, channel 2. This is what we do almost all the time. Because everything else will be just very complicated. As you can see here, all channels 1 to 32 are patched to the mixer on 1 to 32.
Yeah.
So whatever you connect on the stage or at the back from 1 to 32 will show up here on channel 1 to 32. Then the next one we have is the second stage box. We have 2 stage boxes. Here you can see it is connected from 1 to 20, but there are 2 missing.
Yeah.
So you can see what's happening here. These ones are actually coming from the first stage box. So here someone has sent this one, which is input 21. It is sent to number 21, as it should be. No, sorry, input 22, but it's also sent to
46.
46, which is probably not needed. I don't know why it is done. So I would just remove it. And I would say that instead of doing that, sorry, I would like to send this one,
Yeah,
which
that's
is how it should be.
okay.
Probably some reason they needed to do it.
Yeah.
It can happen. But you can see here that it stops.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is that we have, as I mentioned, the Rios have 32 each, 64, and this one has 64. But the wireless, they are also on Dante. And we are using them on Dante as well, so we do not have enough channels to have all 64 from the stage to the mixer. So the last 12 are actually these ones.
Yeah.
And they are 1 to 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 12.
Yeah.
So if you expand, I can close these two. If you expand this one, it's called Shure ULXD 4Q, which is this unit. It says here ULX34Q.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also named wireless 1 to 4. And they are named 1 to 4. You can see that wireless 1
Oh,
is patched here on 53.
Yeah.
So if you go here, you should see it on 53. Yes.
yeah.
Yep, it's a tree.
It's 53, isn't it?
Yes.
So these are the last one. So this is how it is. So if you need, what happens when you cannot use your keyboards is that someone comes with a laptop on the stage
Yes.
with a Dante network card, and they will pop up here as a transmitter,
Yeah.
and it will say the Fred Håkon's MacBook, for example.
Okay.
Wow.
And then I will say, okay, on keys on 17 and 18,
You should put.
I do not want these two. I want Fred Håkon's MacBook instead.
Okay.
So let's say it's this one. And I will click here.
Yeah. The channel.
Sorry. Click on this one and that one.
Yeah.
And then I will get it from his MacBook instead. But if you now connect it to the stage, to
Yeah.
the stage box, there is no sound.
So we can just change it here.
You need to change it back.
Okay.
Or you can just ask the guy that did it to do it for you, but yes.
Yeah.
You need to change it back.
It's complicated.
I mean the case usually is if they're like
Daming trabaho yan.
Yeah.
up there and we're here and
Yeah.
nobody's here
Yeah.
anymore, so
But this is why.
Okay.
Of course, if it's challenging, you could just say, okay, this doesn't work. I'll just connect it somewhere else.
some
Instead
Ah.
of 17 and 18,
Yeah.
let's use 45 and
Other
46.
version, yeah.
And then you can either use it at 45 or 46, or you can go to channel 17, and you can here change the patch.
Yeah.
And this is a reason why you would not have one-to-one. You would say that for this service,
Yeah.
channel 17 is Dante 46.
Yes.
Because Dante 17 does not work, we don't
Yeah.
have the time to figure out why.
Yeah.
We just connected it somewhere else, and
Yeah.
Okay.
so this is a good reason why you don't have it one-to-one.
Mm.
And I switch these on because if they are off, you won't see them here.
Oh.
So if you're trying to look into these things, the units needs to be online.
Sometimes even I use my files, it comes here that the Dante 710 and 810 is going like this, like a question mark.
Yes. So on a mixer, so the Dante routing will work no matter what. But on the mixer, you have something. So you go to setup, Dante setup, and you have this setup. You should not change.
No.
I can say it. This is the ID. So if you have multiple consoles, you can only have one console per ID. And then your main console needs to be ID 1, but we only have
But
one.
when we use this console, it means it's not working
Yeah.
with the
So
Dante.
this is incorrect.
Yeah.
This should be here.
With Dante.
Should
controller,
always
so
be
we can-
data controller.
Always.
Which means that you get
Yes,
the
this
patch
one.
from here.
Okay.
This one means should we have redundant network, which means 2 networks, or 1? We have 2, so this needs to be there.
redundant.
Latency is the clock frequency. The lower the better, and you have the guide here that says gigabit network with 1 switch, 0.25. We have 2 switches, but it works fine with 0.25, so that's okay. But then on device mount, here you have all the devices.
Yeah.
If you do not mount the device here,
Yeah.
the console will not know the name of the channel. Then you will get your question marks.
Ah, that's why.
So the sound will come because it is routed, as
Yeah.
long as you have the patch set to Dante controller.
Yeah.
But you will not get the channel name. And if you see the wireless,
Yeah.
here you actually have the name. You have the name, but you also have the gain, and you have the battery status, and you have the RF level. All of this comes from the wireless receiver,
Receiver, yeah.
but they need to be mounted on the device mount for
Okay.
that to work.
Then how to...
So you click Dante setup.
If it is a question mark, then you have to...
Then you can go here to device mount, and you can see that your devices are mounted. The ones you need are the 2 on top. These are the stage boxes, the RIO,
Yeah.
and you need the 3 wireless.
Okay.
This one, Lydmixer Mac Mini, this is this one.
Uh-huh.
If you use it, it's good. Menighetens Mac Mini, that's the old Mac from the
That
stage.
means if this one is not here,
You will get
you
question
have-
marks.
You have to put it there.
You have to put them there.
How do you put it, for example?
We can take this away. So to put it there, you click on this one,
That one?
The
and you
radio.
select the easiest way, select online. Then you will get a list of all units that are on the Dante network. And then you scroll down, you can see here the IDs as well. So you can see that This one does not have an ID,
Yamaha Rai.
and it is a Rio, it is the one you want. If you click identify, it will blink,
Yeah,
and then you click OK, and then it should pop up.
in there.
So we can, I think we can show this.
That's why sometimes you can see here that there's a question mark.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find it out that if we have very short time, I like my head is
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
I can just find another channel just to make it work because it's take little time to figure out where to look at it.
So if you see here, let's see if we can do a demo. This doesn't. Okay, I can show you how it is. So this is a, let's say, a live demo. Now, okay, this is very slow. Yeah. On the volume button, this is just a Mac OS X feature. You can select, okay, which sound card should I use? In this case, I want to use the Dante Virtual Sound Card. Does it work?
I think that's the same thing happened to me. It works with headset.
Oh, then it's a good test.
I don't know. I have tried that.
Slot
Yeah,
one.
but it's okay. We will fix it.
It could be like
This is a good demo. So the next thing is that you need your Dante virtual sound card to be running.
Okay.
So you can see here. Okay, it is running. This one is, you will see it here as a transmitter. And it is called Lydmixer Mac Mini. Here it is. So if I stop it there, it should, yeah, now it's gone. If I start it, it should pop up again. This is a good start. And I want to have the two left and right
Yeah.
sent to my console.
Yeah.
Then I can go down to my console,
Yeah.
and I can see that, okay, it is not sent. But the way we are doing it currently is that I mentioned we have this slot 2.
Yeah.
So since all the channels are taken,
Yeah.
we send it to slot 2.
Yeah.
So let's open that one instead. It's called My 16. This is just the name of the card. I guess we could rename it, but yeah. And now it has all of these, what is it called? Exclamation marks,
Yeah.
which means that this routing is not working.
Okay.
And if you double click on it, you can see the transmit, the receive. Okay, it's supposed to receive from something called Joachim. This is the guy who did sound on Friday, I guess, or Sunday. No, Monday. There was a service on Monday. And his laptop is not here, so of course it's not working.
That's why.
But he should have put it back, so I will tell him. Wow!
There.
So if you route it here,
And then, so it's only there because everything we're trying to figure it out
but you will
here.
see here, actually, here you see you don't have the names. It
Yeah,
just
that's
says
why.
slot 2.
Yeah.
The reason for that is that you don't use the console's Dante card.
Yeah.
You use the expansion card,
Yeah.
which doesn't support
So that happens if we cannot find it somewhere there. Chances are it was not patched there.
If it is the Mac, then
Yeah.
chances are. But it can be, if it is from something from the stage, of course it can be as well. But
Yeah.
Sometimes also the connection from the multimedia
Upstairs, yeah, multimedia.
is not working.
so I can show you. Oh, is it switched on? Okay,
No.
The machine is not on.
No.
But I can show you where it's supposed to be. Because if we click on this one, My 16,
Yeah.
you can see that now everything is coming from the Mac Mini, which is what we want, how we want it. But you can see that the last three, 14, 15, 16, they are coming from Storskjerm Mac
Yeah.
Mini. That's the Mac. in the gallery.
Upstairs, yeah.
So we are receiving 3 channels from them.
Mm-hmm.
So this will now be yellow, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
But if you switch it on, it should switch to green. So this one, you want to avoid this here. I don't know why we have it. Let's see. Yeah, here something is wrong. This doesn't usually happen, but perhaps because I restarted the sound card.
Yeah.
If you just click on the first one, it should take it away. This is receiving on this Mac. So this means sending signal from the console to the Mac. I use it for effects because I like to run effects on the Mac. That's the only thing. If you don't do that, you don't need to.
No.
So this is very powerful, and please don't break anything. But you can see here, this is the blue 806. This is the processor, I said.
Yeah.
This is sends the correct signal to the correct location. This one has a lock symbol.
Because we cannot.
You cannot change it.
Yes.
It's still locked.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I've done that with is this one and the streaming boxes,
Yes.
because they should just be there. No reason to change anything.
Mm-hmm.
But can we save Dante on our own? Like
Yeah.
somebody have changed it, and then we just have to load it so it
Yes.
it goes back to its original
So
form.
assuming that on the console you have Dante patch by this, no sorry, by Dante controller. If you go here, you can save this as a preset.
Oh yeah, and then name it.
Yeah, name it whatever you want. You see, we have saved a lot of things. And if you want to load the preset, you go here.
Just load it.
Load preset, then it will just like reset.
Yeah. So let's take the one that is last modified.
Mm.
This one from 2016. It was the oldest one. This one from March. It's called Joachim, so it's probably not correct. This one. Let's take this. And then you will get all of these things. And then you can choose, okay, which ones do you want to load. So, okay, let's say I want to load everything related to the console. Should be, I guess, this one, and perhaps it's just this one. You cannot click OK now. That's because there are some warnings there. So you need to clear those. Isn't this how we do it?
Load.
Do you care? No, I do not. Okay, now there is. So let's see, and then we go here, and yeah. Now I should be able to. Oh no, I did something wrong. Oh. Let's do it another time. Why is this not working? Perhaps this is not a very good demo. I don't do this very often. I need to get rid of these.
But maybe we could start copying one file from now, from this.
Doesn't matter. As long as you save something that is current,
Yes.
it should work to load it back again. Other things you can see here, this is the routing. Device info, this shows all the devices on the network. And you can see, I'm not sure if it's something, the primary address, this is it on the primary network. Secondary address is it on the secondary. Not all devices are on the secondary because they don't support it.
Yeah, yeah.
But those that support it are on it. And you can see that the link is 1 gigabit mostly. And you can see the version. Yeah. Clock, this is, I don't know, you don't need to worry about it.
No.
Network status, it should be green.
All of it. Yeah.
All of it should be green. Events, if you have some problems, go to the events and it should tell you what is wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, basically. So this is Dante.
That's Dante.
Any questions?
What's the icon of Dante so it can be?
Okay. So this application, it's called Dante Controller, and it's that one, the green one.
Green one.
Okay.
Yeah, check. You don't, and at the usual service, you don't really need this, but you need it if you are changing the routing.
Yeah.
We could also use that, just to make sure that everything has been patched to like
Yeah,
one
the
is
Yes.
to one.
So if you want to just double check, you can.
Monitor like everything has been patched to its
So Yamaha.
If you want to double check it, you just open this one up,
Yeah, CL5.
and you see, okay, I'm getting the first 32 from the stage box.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm getting the next 20 or
Yeah,
something.
that's-
Looks
Yes.
good. And the last 12 is from the wireless.
Yes.
And then you can.
Yeah, that's
Then you
the.
can start. Yeah.
Check this.
And if you want to check one more thing, you can check here. If you find the CL5 here, and you can see what you are sending,
Yeah.
because you want to send it to these ones. Okay, I'm sending the first 10 to the amplifiers. Actually 16, but we don't use the last 6. And you should have here. Yeah, I'm sending these 16 to the wireless. Looks good. And I'm sending left and right to the processor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also to check for this computer and the computer upstairs.
The upstairs is switched off, but it's called Storskjerm.
Storskjerm.
Yeah.
So this one,
But in slot too, that one.
That should be in slot 2. It's this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we put it back to?
I can actually, let me just
Yeah, name it.
CL5.
Yeah.
Oops. It was too long. Okay, so it should be there. Yeah. This is Dante.
Yes.
That's cool.
So some inners, some Dante. Too bad that this is not working. There is something. Okay. So what next? You wanted to talk about EQ, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can do one trick here. I wanted to. So what you can do with Dante, you can say that the Mac should have 64 channels, and you want to route all the channels on the Mac to the input on the console. You use this for what's called a virtual sound check. So you record all the channels, and then you can just play them back, and you can do a sound check without the band.
Uh-huh.
But now the Nuendo software, the license doesn't work, and I don't know why, so I don't want to spend 30 minutes to find out why.
Yeah.
But let's just see if we can find one file. I want a vocal, I guess.
Mayroon ka na nahanap na kung makikita mo sound check. Kanta ka. Pagtisa at parang lakas ng boses. Kita mo yung sound check, ano yung boses. Kaya naman.
Yeah. Right, it should be here. Okay, so you get a lot of so this is actually the Andreas microphone, but all the other noise you hear, this is the noise you have on stage.
Okay.
So you need to think about that when you do your mixing. Okay, it always sounds a bit different when you do it like this. But so if you want to look at the EQ, nice. Do you have any special questions about the EQ, or do you just want to? Should I just talk about it?
Yeah.
Well, I have just a basic question because we had very short time, so we don't have really this detailed time to have a run through and everything. So we have a standard mix or EQ, for example, for vocals, for male and female,
I don't think-
something like that.
Yes.
Just to have a standard EQ.
Yes. So if you let me just stop here. So if you look at these here, you can see this is my vocals from whenever this was a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
This is the EQ for vocal 1. Okay.
Is that the
And if you this is number 2,
yeah?
3, 4, 5, 6. This was not in use. 7. So as you can see, they are very similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I usually, this is because what impacts it is the microphones, and of course everyone uses the same
Same
microphone.
microphone.
Yeah.
It is
Ah.
the room, and everyone is in the same room, and all of those things. So there are very many similarities. So what I do, if we use David again, this does not work. The first thing I do is I always put on the high pass filter. This cuts everything below a certain frequency. And I think that the theory is that you turn it up until you hear that it's there, and then you turn it back down again until you don't hear it. But I'm not so sure if that really works. So you can hear. This has a. You can hear the noise is almost gone.
Yeah.
har stått av.
This bass.
Dødens makt er brøt. Jesus lever. Fullkommen majestet.
This does a lot to clean up the sound.
Yeah.
So I always put it at, I don't know, around here. I use this for every channel
Yeah.
except for the kick drum
Yeah.
and the tracks. Everything else a little bit, because if not, you get this everywhere,
Yeah.
and it's very challenging. So I think even if we look at the bass guitar, yeah, it's a little bit, just on 30 hertz, so it's very little. But there is no bass below there, or at least you cannot hear it. And you want the kick to have the bottom part, and you want the bass to be a little bit above. Okay, so this is where I start. The next thing is lower. I'm going to send you. What's it called? The medium-low frequencies, which is, let me just. Usually it's around, I don't know, 400, from 250 to 400. I usually turn down. This is this one. This is also a trick. If you do this, you can hear very well. What is this? What is the problem from this frequency? If you turn it up. I'm sorry. So I always take it down a bit, around 300. This is also a standard thing I do. These are the two things I almost always do on vocals. The next thing is a bit higher middle frequencies, around 800, for some voices. This is the very nasal sound, so it sounds like they have a cold,
Yeah.
like like this. For some people you need to do it, so for others you don't need to do it. This depends, you need to just listen.
Yeah.
But it would be somewhere like here.
Du er kongen som ble skyldig i vår sted. I naken skam du le. Din er æren i all
Something around there. David Andrea doesn't usually need that, but for some people it's important.
Yeah.
And then, especially for women, around 3,500. It was preset because I use it so much. It's sorry. It's a bit difficult. Let's try. I have someone else there.
Kuha mo yung paano hinahanap yan doon?
You have no equal.
Okay. It's
Now